this character is he's got he's like I said, he doesn't have to show up, and he doesn't have to show up on time. He doesn't have to he doesn't have to he doesn't have to pay his taxes. For somehow or other, he's able to get by. Like people take care of him, and for some reason, even though the sound is not held like at the back of his sinuses. I don't know, but in order to enunciate words, he's got to make this weird shape with his mouth, and maybe even other parts of his face, because that sort of otherwise the words are a little bit too loose, and we don't want that. Like he won't be able to say things if those words are too loose. But what kind of things can he say? This guy Andy Nunberg, Andy Nonchalant, Andy Nunca, Nunez, Andy Noonday, Andy. Well, what other things can he do? Well, I think one thing he needs to do is to learn to like if he's gonna speak like this a lot, it's probably gonna hurt his lips. Like my lips are kind of getting weak from all of this effort, but it's okay. It's okay. It just takes a little bit of practice, and it might be painful at first, like the first couple of days. But maybe that's just part of the exercise. Like I don't belong to a gym, but I'm good doing this kind of work. This kind of work is I can see stuff. I can think of stuff. Hold on, let me get a little massage here. Yeah, that's better. I've heard this guy a little bit. I've heard what's his name? I've heard this guy. Andy Kaufman did a character like this, didn't he? That weird alter ego guy is a little bit like this. And okay, well, the thing is, I know I had this character myself because I went to speech classes when I was a little kid. When I was 6 or 7 years old, I am not speech class, but I went to a speech therapist. My mom and dad sent me. We went to the local hospital. There was a little clinic there, and it was a speech therapist, because my parents thought I had a speech defect, like that I was speaking too nasally. And the woman, she was friendly. I must have been 6 or 7, and she'd say, Robert, you sound like this. She'd record me. She said, you sound like this, and I'd listen to it, and it sounded like me. And then she said, but you should sound like this. And she'd play something that was like me. I guess at other times I was talking, and it sounded identical. I to this day I have no idea what she was talking about, but I think it was related to this, just because she said she used the adjective that it was nasal. So okay, and now that I'm trying to let this thing come out a little, let this Andy Nunberg. I gotta change his name from Andy. Noun. No. In I nun Norman. That was my dad's name. I can't use that. I can't use Norman. Maybe I can. I don't know. I don't know who this guy is, but you know, if this, the more I hear about him, and the more I speak like him, I get. I can investigate and learn who he is. It's like I'm some sort of detective or something. Who is this guy, and where does he come from? And he's slightly you know, slightly off. You know, I personally would have a hard time walking around the streets talking in this tone. You know, you know, if I was working at a restaurant and some guy came in and started talking like this, it would be disconcerting. It would, I wouldn't know, it would be a little bit hard to take him seriously, but that's okay. You know, the advantage of this kind of thing is that then you're you know, you just, the whole thing, you know me, like the thing that I like is that when things are just like twisted a little bit, like they're up like this, and then you just turn them 90 degrees, and oh, or you could even turn them 5 degrees, and then that makes things a little interesting for a little while. Let's just see what else is out there. It's interesting. It's interesting. You know, I keep saying that I want. I keep saying that I want. I want things to be like. I want the hike. I want the travel. I want the destination. I want the definition. I want the effort to be like falling off a log. Right, I want it to be easy. Well, you know, that's a good fantasy, Rob. That's a real good fantasy, you know. But it's not always going to be like that. It doesn't really, you know, you're not going to know when it's going to be this way or that. You have no idea. But that said, it, you know, like when I did this, when I did the I recommend the pointy hat. I was exhausted when I finished. I was pushing so hard, and getting somewhere, and it was fun. It was fun that I could do that. It was really fun. It was so much fun. I just kept going and going and going, and then you didn't know what would happen. It was pretty fun. It was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to do that. It was fun. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. I like to do things that are fun. I like to do things that are fun. I like to do things that are fun. Fun. It was a lot of fun to do that. It just was. It was like canoeing, you know, it was like canoeing. It was like canoeing, but like every time you put your paddle in the water, the color of the water changed. You know, it's that like it was the regular like moonlit night. You're canoeing. It's quiet. You're just having a great time, and then you put your paddle in the water again, and then it changes to like transparent blue water, and then you put your paddle again on the other side of the canoe, so you go straight, and then it's transparent red, and you don't know, but it's fun. You don't know, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun. You don't know, but it's fun. It's fun. The canoeing is fun. It's like I'll tell you what else was fun. This was really fun. I was practicing. I was practicing. I was practicing. Oh, I was practicing. I was practicing. I was practicing. I was practicing. Oh. I was practicing. I was practicing. I was practicing this theater piece, right? And and I was getting, I had these, I was working with the director, and I was working with a teacher, these two different guys, and, uh, and even a third, like one of the teaching assistants, and everybody would give me advice, and some of the advice was conflicting, and I trusted all three of these guys. I liked, and I do like them, and I trusted them, but it was conflicting advice, and it was like I was getting torn. My head was getting torn apart because I would listen to one guy's advice, and it was like I should do that, and then like 3 days later I'd go do the same piece, and this other guy would say, "Oh no, you should do this. You should do this," and it was totally, it was like the opposite of what the first guy said, and it kind of tore me apart, and it raised the stakes, and I'm sensible about it. I know, like, you got to take what everybody says with a grain of salt, but I still wanted to listen, and so, it was like I was getting more and more, like the stakes were getting raised, and it wasn't that I was getting stressed out. I was calm about it, but I was getting emotional about everything. I was walking in the streets. I spent weeks, like 2, 3, 4 weeks, and I was very emotional. I was on the verge of being upset about, like, every, I would just see little sad things in the world, and it's like, when you go to the movies, and the scene, the story is, there's some sad elements, and you get choked up, and I was getting choked up everywhere. Like, honestly, 2, 3, 4 times a day, and I loved it. And I'm a little worried because I don't have that anymore, and I want that, and that's kind of a weird thing. Like, I don't know how to get that. I don't know how to remain, like, emotionally keyed up. Like maybe it requires having, I had this theater piece that I wanted to do, and it was, I don't know, it was like 15 minutes long, and it wasn't that structured, or I take it back. It had a pretty good structure, but I wanted to keep some of the sections open so I could inject my own stuff, and I want to look for that more. I want to, is that fair? Am I just being a whore to do that? Am I just is that, like, am I just jerking myself off, that that just because it feels good? Is this being just like soaking myself in some sort of unreal emotional world? Is that morally acceptable? I don't know. I'm just putting it out there because I'm curious. I want it to be good. When I say I want it to be like falling off a log, I want it to be. I want to just live pure pleasure. That's not a bad thing, isn't it? Like, I don't want to just sit there eating chocolate and ice cream all day. Like, that would make me sick. I want to do something. I want to live pure pleasure in a way that's going to keep me healthy. Like, my dad was a doctor. In a way, I sort of, I didn't become a doctor, but I feel like I've grown up with this idea that to be healthy is the real thing, is the thing that we are all supposed to be, that we should be working for, to be like uber healthy, like just to be as good as you can, and not do sick things, not do And it's almost like we inherently know, we have hunches, we learn from people that we care about. We inherently know what are the good things and what keep us going. And so, it's like I don't, I don't, I can't sustain, exaggerating my lips for too long, because that's not too healthy in the long run. But maybe I can do it in a in a healthier way, and and now I'm starting to feel like perhaps it's time to wind this down, because I've covered a lot of territory. That might be the case for now. Okay.